Welcome back, guys. Baby got stacks.
Uh,
It feels weird saying welcome back because we haven't left our sitting spot.
I should have
Um,
asked if you needed like a potty break or something because I truly just went for it.
I should have got some thing to drink, but we're fine. We're rolling. Everything's fine.
We're
This,
here now.
well, and yeah, there was a lot to unpack in this book, but I feel like with thriller mysteries, they're quicker
Yeah,
almost because you just talk about like the twists.
like the little who
Mm,
done it.
yeah. Um, This week is Mel's birthday pick.
It's my
Hoot
birthday pick.
hoot.
I've been wanting to read this book since it came out, like in 2021, and it's been on my TBR since, staring me down, waiting,
Mm-hmm.
and finally read it. In
We
My
did.
Dreams, I Hold a Knife by Ashley Winstead. I
Yes. Yes, we did do that. Has she written
feel like
any
it's
other books? Yes, she has.
yes.
She
Yes, she
has.
has. She's
That's right.
written some romance. She wrote
Also,
Fool Me Once
the
and The
last
Boyfriend
house,
Candidate.
the last
She also
housewife.
wrote The Last Housewife, and just recently at the end of last year she wrote Midnight is the Darkest Hour.
Hmm.
And it looks like she has coming out next year a book called Future Saints.
Interesting.
The only other book I've read was The Last Housewife. Um,
How'd you like that one?
I liked it. What did I rate it?
I was gonna
Hold
say,
on.
did you like that one better than this one?
I gave it a 4. I gave this one a 4.5.
I gave this one a 5.
I really did enjoy this one.
I really enjoyed it. I thought that it was really good. Sometimes you can make it seem a little too cheesy when you do the whole like everyone's a suspect kind of
Yeah.
thing. I'm always curious when reading thriller mysteries how quickly it took you to figure out who actually did it because you're
This
really good
one
at that and I'm really not.
had me kind of bouncing around. So this had two different timelines. One in the present, and then one was at the time the murder took place. And the way the evidence was being revealed
Mhm.
had me kind of jumping around, which is how I like it
Mhm.
because you really have to think and you're slowly learning how the characters behave.
Mhm.
And especially when you have the point of view of an unreliable character, you're just kind of like, who do I
Yeah.
believe? Like, you can't even
She
believe who you're in. Like, oh,
she bugged me, but I think that's what I liked about it because this author she made it not believable, but she made it to where like the people actually felt real in the sense of yeah, the main
yeah,
character drove me nuts with some of the things that she was doing, but
yeah,
that meant that the writing was good enough to like make me feel these feelings. It wasn't
yeah.
just, reading them off of the paper. I was like, this lady is getting on my last nerve.
Like, you're not meant to like any of them. Like, you see all of their flaws. None of them
Yeah.
make good decisions. They
No,
weren't good friends to each other.
absolutely not.
And in the head that you're in the perspective of, you can't trust her. You're
Mhm.
not you're not agreeing with the decisions she's making. She's
Yeah.
annoying. You don't like her, but you're still like, one of you say some truth, please.
Yeah, they definitely like they all liked their like view on the to other people. So like the main character, she her dad was like really bad. She definitely had like daddy issues, and
Oh, yeah.
rightfully so. I mean, he
Mhm.
had substance abuse. At one point, he like told her that she like dragged him down. He went to Harvard, and she didn't get into Harvard, and she always tried to be perfect so that way her dad would love her. And her dad died while she was in college, but she still like followed through with it. She went to a college that she couldn't even afford. She'd gotten a
Yeah.
credit card. She was trying to make people like her. And
Yeah.
then at one point, she's trying to get this scholarship. Her best friend, Heather, gets it, and she is livid. And it's like,
Mhm.
if these people were not good friends to each other. I mean, if
Not
she
at
was
all.
actually a good friend, yeah, she might have been disappointed because this scholarship was for what she was literally majoring in, and her friend wasn't majoring in it at all. But you got to be happy for your friend. Like, if that's your
Yeah.
best friend,
Like sad for you, but happy for your friend.
yeah. I'm like, come on.
Yeah. And in everyone's head, they justified their own actions. Like they were doing the right thing in their own head. And
Yeah.
so I guess we can read the back of the book so we can
There
maybe can make a little more sense.
there is some, I almost want to say some triggers with this book. There's definitely some
Yeah.
cheating that, or also, troubles with relationships with parents. Definitely some like blackmail, gaslighting
Revenge.
situations.
Yeah. There's
Um,
layers. There's a
it
lot.
could be triggering to some, especially the cheating part. That definitely was pretty heavy in
That's
this book
very
between
prominent.
the main character and two of the guys in this
Mhm.
book. So definitely make sure to check the trigger warnings. It's not too crazy, but if that's something that's triggering you, this book could definitely be something
Yes.
that maybe you don't want to read.
Take care of yourself first.
Yes. Okay. 6 friends, one college reunion, one unsolved murder. Dun dun dun. Okay. I had to do it. I had to do it. 10 years after graduation, Jessica Miller has planned her triumphant return to Southern elite Duquesne University, down to the envious whispers that are sure to follow in her wake. Everyone is going to see the girl she wants them to see, confident, beautiful, and different. Not the girl she was when she left campus, back when Heather Shelby's murder fractured everything, including the tight bond linked the 6 friends she'd been closest to since freshman year. But not everyone is ready to move on. Not everyone left Duquesne 10 years ago, and not everyone can let Heather's murder go unsolved. Someone is determined to trap the real killer, to make the guilty pay. When the 6 friends are reunited, they will be forced to confront what happened that night, and the year's worth of secrets each of them would do anything to keep hidden. Dun, dun, dun.
I was worried when I had long forgotten what this book was about, and I just knew that I wanted to read it. But
Yeah.
once I realized it was college friends, one of them died, went on with
Mhm.
their lives, and
Mhm.
then coming back, that's kind of a used storyline in mystery. The
Yeah.
one that I kept thinking back to was The It Girl by Ruth Ware.
Okay. I never
That's
read that
like the
one.
prominent one that I can think of. I think I gave that one 3 stars.
Okay.
So I was worried because it's kind of been done.
Mhm.
And when you kind of read a lot of the kind of the same basic storyline, the structure can only be remade in so many ways.
Yeah.
But this one did it so well.
Had some juicy details in it. I tell you
So
what,
well.
I really should have written like each of their names and what like.
I know, and like what their thing was. But essentially we're in Jessica's head. And it starts with her prepping herself, gearing up to go to this reunion. And she's so excited to show off her life,
Mhm.
all her accomplishments. She's the one whose dad essentially blamed her for the failure he was
Yeah.
before he died.
Yeah.
And her mom basically agreed. Well, she just didn't do much about it.
I would consider her mom a coward at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she's like now the youngest female of this like Caldwell firm.
Firm thing.
Yeah.
Something. She actually has
She,
made herself into something. And
yeah.
she is fairly successful. And
The
so
friend group is the East House 7. That's the nickname that was.
that was the dorm they were staying in, and she has kept in touch and still sees Jack,
Mm-hmm.
Who had been originally arrested for the death of Heather,
Who was his girlfriend at the time.
Who was his girlfriend at the time, but they didn't have enough evidence, or they cleared him. He was released.
Yeah, just it wasn't adding up that it could have been him, even though the murder weapon, which was I believe it was Caro's knife, because Caro, Jessica, and Heather were all roommates in that dorm suite, and it was Caro's scissors that had killed Heather, but then the scissors were found under Jack's bed.
Yeah.
And so that's why usually when a woman dies, it's usually
the
boyfriend.
husband, the boyfriend.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he was released, not enough evidence, or he alibied out. Something, it wasn't him. So Jessica really only keeps in touch with Jack, and Jack has decided he's not going to go to the reunion. That would just stir up too much trouble, since, basically everyone in that town and everyone in that friend group still thinks it was him, even though it was proven not him.
Yes.
So, go to the reunion. Jessica has this whole plan to be in the spotlight.
Like
so
obsessively
weird.
so.
Obsessive, like down to like the little speech she's gonna have to have everyone's eyes on her, to be number one, to show, yes, I did it.
Yeah.
Like, she's gonna be the it girl. It's so weird, and you're in her head the whole time.
Mm-hmm. There is some chapters where you do get to like be in the head of the other people. So at one point, and it says it too, like at one point,
yeah, they'll label it.
It'll say like mint, and then I think there's one for Courtney or Caro. Courtney is Courtney's not part of the
7
group,
but she's just
but she wants to be
arch nemesis.
Yeah, and she like envied them. Like she always wanted to like try to be in with them, so she'd like insert herself in. So it's basically them coming back for a reunion and trying to solve Heather's murder, because her brother, who now works, Eric, he is part of the alumni, and he basically like corners them all and is like, I know everyone's secret. One of you is the murderer, and you guys are going to confess, because I have been wanting to solve her murder, which I get.
Yeah.
I get it.
I think he had promised his mom, like, I'm going to figure this out.
He probably didn't do it in the like most healthiest way possible, but
no, not obsessing for all these years, becoming a detective and like.
But I get it.
But like, yeah. So I guess their friendship starts with the float.
Yeah, I think it's like the very first day when they're all like in the commons area.
Oh, yeah. I guess we don't have to go through the entire thing. We can just kind of do the spoilers. And going through everyone's secret.
Like their secret, if I remember it.
Secret. Because essentially everyone, I mean, basically, they all kind of had a hand in what ended up happening to Heather. Because everything kind of just lined up to be exactly how it ended up.
Yeah, so Jessica, we're just gonna get into spoilers at this point.
We're just gonna go straight to it.
We are diving. Okay. So
She dove.
I did dive. Jessica was dating Mint during college. She also fell in love with Coop, and then her and Coop were doing things.
They had an affair basically
for a long time. Yeah. Courtney spied on all of them and would
That was
basically.
Caro.
Was it Caro? I thought Caro was.
Caro was stalked all of them.
Oh, I thought Caro was the one that had the pills.
No, that was
the Chinese
Courtney.
pills. Oh my god! See, this when they have two C names.
I know.
I get
Caro
lost.
ended up spying like on all of them because she knew that Coop and Jessica were seeing each other, and she knew that Heather knew that the football player had that like ultimatum thing because he was taking steroids.
He was taking steroids, yeah, and then was it Jack? Jack was cheating on Heather with was it Frankie?
With the football guy, Frankie.
Yeah, they were having an affair.
Yeah.
Wild times, guys.
Wild
times. And then, okay, Courtney is now married to Coop.
Yes.
Okay. I'm like, God, these C names.
Yeah.
And Courtney's the one that had the Chinese pills that was making her lose weight that her mom was getting. And that's what was found in Heather's system that made her drugged. Because Heather took those pills that night.
Yeah.
Jack had broken up with her the night of the sweetheart like ball or whatever.
Yeah.
And she wanted to just like go crazy. So she mixed those pills with alcohol, and they think that that's what messed her up. Well, Coop was dealing in college, and because his mom was a single mom, she couldn't afford the college, and so he was like, don't worry about it, I got it. He was just selling marijuana. Well, then senior year, things got a little messy. He was selling harder things like heroin and this drug they called named Tweak. So they thought that Tweak was in her system, and pretty much everyone thought that they killed Heather. Coop thought it was the drugs that killed her because she couldn't do self-defense. Heather was found in Jessica's bed that night. So Jessica thought that she might have killed her because Jessica, that same night as the ball, found out that she didn't get the scholarship that she had been wanting. The econ teacher used her because she wanted to get a letter of recommendation because he was a very prestigious econ professor. He worked with presidents before, and she pretty much figured a letter of recommendation from him was a sure way to get this scholarship. And the scholarship grants you like whatever school you want. So she was like, I could finally go to Harvard. And the teacher was like, pretty much ultimatum, I'll write you the letter if you sleep with me.
Yeah.
Which she did. And then she found out that Heather had also gotten a letter of recommendation. But according to Heather, she didn't sleep with the teacher at all, which made Jessica really, really mad that Heather got the scholarship. She got blackout drunk and like messed up because she also took pills, woke up super bloody, thought that she killed Jessica.
Heather.
Yep, she didn't kill herself.
Yeah.
See, there's too many names. I should have
Yeah.
written it down. And then, what else was there? So Jack was sleeping
Oh,
around. Frankie
I
was
just
sleeping
looked
around.
at Coop married Taro, and then Mint married Courtney.
Okay.
Because I couldn't remember.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, that's how that ended up.
Okay. Then Mint found out about Jessica sleeping with the professor, thought that she was just tramping around.
Yeah, because he also found out that she had been sleeping with Coop.
Yeah.
And so when Mint found that out, he went to go find Jessica. And so when he went and bursted into her room and saw that someone was sleeping in Jessica's bed, he thought it was Jessica. And he was so mad because his dad, he found out his mom had been cheating on his dad for like years and then left him for the person she had been cheating on him with. And he thought his dad was such a coward, blah, blah, blah. And so he has this weird thing about cheating.
This very weird thing about, yeah, because his
Yeah.
dad, when he found out that his mom was cheating on one of his dad's colleagues in like the firm that they all like own.
Mm,
And the dad was so like distraught. He pretty much told his wife, I don't care that you still sleep with that man, just don't divorce me. And pretty much was like on his hands and knees begging his wife, like in the middle
yeah.
of a party.
Yeah.
And then his dad was like so distraught that he tried to throw himself out of a window. And the mom was like, he was a coward for doing that. And like their
Yeah.
relationship was so
It
toxic. It
was
was
so bad.
insane. And so Mint has like really bad like anger
Yeah.
issues.
It's basically like, oh, Jessica, you like,
You're doing
oh,
the
you
same
think you can
thing.
make
You're
me look like a
demasculating.
fool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Emasculating me. And so when he saw, like, he assumed it was Jessica sleeping in Jessica's bed. He's like, you're going to get up and you're going to apologize to me. Like, you think you can make me look like a fool. And um, Jessica, in air quotes, was just like, let me sleep. Like, leave me alone. We could deal with this in the morning. And so he grabbed the nearest weapon he could see, which were Caro's scissors, and then just started stabbing.
Yeah.
And that turned out to be Heather.
Yeah, so Mint technically was the one that killed her. But
But
oh my god, the twist at the end, I was like, that's, I give it a 5 because I was
yeah.
so not like prepared for that. So come to find out, Jessica had no idea about that night. She went to a therapist. She tried to be hypnotized. It was just all black. Um, then she talks to Coop the night of the homecoming, and it all comes back to her because Coop said, "Do you not remember coming to my room that night?" And she was like, and that just like kind of opened the floodgates when he said that.
Mm-hmm.
She then remembered going to his place and basically telling him everything. And then he was so mad at what the professor did that Coop left, went to the professor's house and destroyed over $100,000 worth of property, wrote rapist all over,
Yeah.
and then the teacher had to like basically leave
Mm-hmm.
um, and flee. And she then realized that like the blood that night on her was from her crawling into the window of the like student
Student
academic
affairs, like the
thing.
main
Yeah.
office of the school.
Yeah, because she wanted to see like how Heather got her letter of recommendation or like what it was said and stuff.
Yeah.
And then she found out she thought she was in second place, but she wasn't even in top 3 of like getting that
Yeah.
scholarship. It didn't even matter. Um, but then she remembers going back that night and she was like all covered in blood. She remembers going back to her room and seeing Heather in the bed, and Heather was still alive. And Heather was like, please go get help. And she was like, okay. And she goes downstairs and she's counting the floors as she goes down the elevator. And when she gets out, she just leaves. She does not go and get help. Crazy. Granted, she's like, well, Heather probably like would have died anyways. It's like, yes,
Yeah.
but
But yeah, she was in her head. She knew that, like, but I didn't even try.
yeah. And towards the end of everything, Mint um confessed to all
Yeah.
of them that it was him.
Goes berserk.
Absolutely crazy at the top of the tower, that where like the parade ends, lights it on fire, tries to kill everyone basically.
And tries to
um,
kill Jessica specifically. He's like, I didn't get to kill you that night. You were like my target, so now I'm gonna kill you.
I'm like, okay. And this man even like knew that he killed the wrong person and then stayed with Jessica for like another year afterwards and like went to New York and
Yeah.
then broke up with
I
her
think
like in a restaurant.
because there was one point Jessica said that like he was gonna break up with her, and then she like begged for him to take her back. I think that's what did it for him, because then she made a fool of herself because they were at like a
Very, very fancy
restaurant.
restaurant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he just kept going.
Yeah, so then they push him. Well, Eric pushes him out of the window of the tower and he
Well, Mint
dies.
like shoots her
I think he stabs her.
or stabs her.
She broke the
And
glass. She broke the window first, trying to get fresh
yeah.
air, and then Coop found her because that's like where they'd always go to hide. And that's when she found out that he knew everything. And then he had actually asked her to marry him, like right after they had
Yeah.
graduated college. And she was like, you knew all of that stuff about me and still wanted to marry me. And he was like, well, yeah, for better, for worse. And I was like, oh, that's
Oh,
kind of sweet, actually.
yeah.
Like, oh
He
no.
kept trying, even though basically Jessica only dated Mint because he was like better on paper.
Yeah,
She's an awful person.
she really is. She really is. And then sh Jessica did not want Eric to like get the blame for killing Mint, and so she was like,
Yeah.
before the cops come up here up this tower, you see that I'm stabbed. We're gonna say it was self-defense. Because I technically it
Yeah. Yeah,
was.
he did stab her.
Yeah. And so she gets off scotch-free, because Coop, who is a lawyer, one of his lawyer friends, helped her. Um, and then her and Coop run away together.
Yeah. That's it.
That's it.
And that's it.
It was a wild ride.
That was a wild ride.
I was always so confused when she was counting, and I thought for sure that Jessica had done it because I was like, okay, that,
I was like, the counting has to be from somewhere.
yeah. I figured the blood all over her was like too obvious.
Yeah.
But then when they talked about the letter, how Heather had gotten accepted and she did, and I was like, this could send her over the
Mhm.
edge. This is plausible. Motive, 110%.
Right there. Yeah. I
And
knew
then,
something was when she saw that she wasn't even top three. Because
yeah,
she started saying, like, well, if something happens to the person selected, then they give it
yeah,
to whoever is next in
runner up.
line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did
Like
not
that
expect
plan.
Mint to be that crazy. And I
I know.
And I also did not expect that Heather was still breathing after 17 stab wounds and for Jessica to
Yeah,
walk.
bitch, hard to go down. I thought it was gonna be Coop
Oh,
in like doing it for Jessica.
that would have been crazy.
That's what I kind of was thinking. Did you have what were you thinking?
I thought it could have been Courtney because
Oh,
Courtney always wanted to be like Heather's best friend.
Yeah.
And when Heather kind of chose Jessica over
Mm,
Courtney, and I felt like Courtney was still trying to like vied for Heather's time.
yeah.
I felt like Courtney gave off the vibes of if I can't have her, no one can, kinda.
Mm,
I also
yeah.
thought maybe she was like secretly in love with her situation.
She gave me like, I will wear your skin.
Yeah.
Like if I could.
Yeah. She definitely gave off the vibe. So I thought maybe it was
uh,
her.
yeah.
I really did too.
I'm
I
so
also thought
happy for her.
maybe her brother had something to do because her brother was like real crazy eyes.
It felt a little like overcompensating ish. Like he was looking for like another reason. Like
Yeah.
maybe it was an accident that he killed her, but he was looking for like, oh, maybe yeah, you're the reason why she was there. So it's your fault.
Like maybe she secretly was a horrible person and that like justifies him accidentally like
Yeah.
killing. 'Twas wild. 'Twas really
It
good.
was really crazy. And I liked how like
And
crazily intertwined everyone's secrets were.
I also felt like it
That
was
was well
really
done.
easy to like keep track of everyone. Granted,
Their
it's
names
harder
were
now.
wild, but like
Yeah.
it was so crazy to connect. Like when you learn something new, it's like, oh, they did this, and then because of that, they did this, and then because of it's like the crazy like
Yeah.
Charlie Day, like with the red string was on the board, just like, oh,
Yeah. Because sometimes these books can be flops when you're doing different timelines because technically there's multiple timelines in the sense of there's before the murder, right after the murder, and like 10 years from the
yeah,
murder. So like they also did freshman year, sophomore year, junior year, senior year.
yeah,
So you see the progression of their friendships and things like that and their
mm-hmm.
relationships with each other. Um, so it could get really confusing really quickly when you're bouncing back and forth. I think that Ashley did a really good job of keeping track of those timelines, and I thought it was really easy to keep track of everything.
yeah. Plus, you're learning about each one's character's like own backgrounds.
Yeah.
You learn about Mint's parents and then like Carol's home life, plus Jessica's home life. Like it, you learn so much in so little time, but it didn't feel rushed or like
Yeah.
overload. That was like really well crafted.
I thought it was
I
really
can't
good.
imagine how like her storyboard laid out like in the planning
That
process.
would be
That
that
would
would
have
be
looked
tiring.
insane. I'm exhausted.
I also am curious on how people write these books. Like, do they start with how they want it to end and then they backtrack it, or do they
Oh
have
yeah.
or do they have a certain character in mind and then they build a world around that character? Or, I'm always curious how they figure out the timelines of books. Like, do they figure out the crime first and then they backtrack it of, how they did that crime and why? Or I'm curious.
Really interesting. Well, huh.
Well, I can get onto the rowdy one star
Well,
because my
yeah.
phone is at 6%. We're getting crazy tonight. Uh, this
Living
book,
with Larry.
I know. This book is at a 3.85 stars, 95,124 ratings. It's mainly at 4 stars. Let's see. This is underwhelming. Pile of mediocre 2021 released thrillers keep growing steady. Um,
Yeah.
Overtroped unoriginal soap opera. I've tried 3 separate times to read this book. It's the dumbest. Um, when does a grandma get slapped?
A grandma got slapped? Oh, yes. When Jessica's dad dies and
Oh,
the
that's right. At
grandparents
the funeral.
come, and she also says that the
That's
mom
right.
slaps her. I do like that part.
That's right. Someone was like the most shocking part of this book was the flashback scene where grandma gets slapped. It's truly gasp worthy. Everything else is toast with no butter.
Toast with no butter.
Toast with no butter. This book was silly, unlikable characters. Absolute
Oh,
trash.
oh. I want to know what mystery thrillers they're reading. That's so good.
Someone just wrote boo and then throws
Oh,
tomatoes. Oh,
oh,
this book was absolute foolishness.
jeez.
Yeah.
I, I want to know what they're reading. Because if this is bad in their opinion, they must be reading some like insanely good books.
I know. We really should like deep dive into this person. Really, so I wanted to see what the person that wrote boo and then throws
Mm.
tomatoes, that person, that person has read. She So they read Swift and Saddled, which is the second book to
Oh yeah,
one of the
Done and
books
Dusted.
we're gonna be reading. Uh
Oh, yes, yes.
oh, spoiler.
Oh,
3.5 stars. Sherry LaPena, Everyone Here's Line, 3 stars. Um just rated House of Flame and Shadow by Sarah J. Maas, 2 stars.
oh.
Iron Flame, 3 stars. Hmm. Hmm, hmm, hmm.
Did she not give out 4 or 5s?
Have you read Lock Every Door by Riley Sager?
Maybe.
She rated that a 1.5 star and also wrote the comment boo throws tomatoes.
Oh, she's got a line. She's she has a catchphrase.
That's hilarious. Hmm.
Oh, I gave Lock Every Door 4.5.
I think she reads more romance because like she gave 4 stars to Abby Jimenez,
Okay.
3 to Meet Me at the Lake, 5 to Happy Place. Yeah, so I think she just reads kind of
Well,
everything
then it is
really.
not fair to read mystery thrillers and rate them if you know you're not going to enjoy them.
She gave 3 stars to What Lies in the Woods. Didn't we give that 5?
We enjoyed What Lies in the Wood.
Ugh, she only gave
We
4
gave it
stars
at
to
least a
Book
4.
Lovers. Book Lovers
What?
was my favorite thing of all time.
That was so good.
Well, not of all time, but it was very, very good.
Oh, yeah. I gave it a 5. What Lies in the Wood.
She only gave 3 things to All the Dangerous Things. We liked that one. Hmm.
All right, person.
She read Charming Your Dad. Do you remember me reading that one?
I do recall read.
She gave it a
What
3.
she. Oh. Ugh. Well, they're
It
wrong.
it kills me with the boo throws tomatoes. That is
Oh,
hilarious.
close to me. I might just start saying that out loud.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
Boo. Picture me
Yeah,
throwing.
she's read a lot. Yeah, she gave 1 star to Where the Crawdads Sing. I am going down a
I would
rabbit
say
hole, people. A rabbit hole.
that.
Hmm.
Huh.
She
Well,
did okay. She did give 5 stars to Part of Your. I can
part of your
appreciate
world.
that.
Oh,
Yeah, by Abby Jimenez. Loved that one.
a little redeemed.
A little bit. I was trying to find more 1 star to see if she also threw tomatoes at them, but
Ooh.
she, she surprisingly did not like It Happened One Summer. She gave it a 2.5 stars.
Mm.
Damn. Well, I
Well,
haven't
like and
found an
follow wherever you're listening to this podcast.
or
And then
we'll
maybe
throw
you'll be
tomatoes
the
at you
lucky one that we will check out your Goodreads and stalk it
and throw tomatoes.
and throw tomatoes at
We
you.
have a line.
I'm gonna say that forever now.
That's so good. Boo!
Boo!
Throws tomatoes.
Those tomatoes.
So good.
Might
It's
switch
so
up a
good.
vegetable every now and then. Or
Oh,
fruit, I
there you
suppose.
go.
For being technical.
Depends on how much we hated it. If we
This-
didn't like it, but like, throws like a blueberry. If we hated it, chucking an entire watermelon at you.
whole ass raw watermelon.
Or a pineapple. They're spiky.
Ooh. That's creative thinking right there.
Cucumber, you can just chuck that thing.
Oh! She's javelin throwing some cucumbers over there. Oh dear God. Well, I will be posting the April schedule here. Probably tonight. Actually, since April soon. And that will be on our Instagram at Baby Got Stats Podcast. Link in our bio takes you to wherever else we're at, like Goodreads. You can stalk us on our Goodreads. That goes both ways.
Yeah.
You can throw tomatoes at us too.
I hope not.
I hope not. Also our TikTok. It's not sunny yet, so we still haven't been given the chance to try.
We'll get there eventually.
Yeah, we'll see. I think that's about it.
Yeah.
Next week is
April.
next Sunday is the last March one. The last day of March. It falls on a Sunday, so
I don't remember what book we're reading, so that's good.
You named the sequel. She didn't throw a tomato at it though.
Oh,
there it is.
There it is. There it is.
We got there.
Yep, we got there. Everything's fine.
Okay. Well, thanks for letting us play catch up again this week.
Yes, thank you. We will try to do a little bit better.
We do our best.
We're gonna get there. I have faith in us. If I tell myself that, we'll get there.
I say it every day.
Yeah, something I need.
Do our best, because that's all we have to do.
And then at the end of the day, I'm gonna be like, we'll just try again tomorrow. I don't know.
There. I'm lucky if I remember what day of the week it is, so that's where I'm at.
I wish I was at that.
All right, bye guys.
Bye guys.